perfect sabotage, the Grand Belmont Hotel glittered like a jewel box on Fifth Avenue. Crystal chandeliers hung from ornate ceilings, casting warm light across marble floors and gilded mirrors. It was the kind of place where every detail whispered of old money and careful elegance. Maya stood near the entrance of the hotel's famous dining room, smoothing down her red skirt with nervous hands. She had dressed carefully for this evening. White blouse, red skirt, professional but striking. The kind of outfit that commanded attention without trying too hard. Her phone buzzed. A text from Victoria Chen, her employer for the evening. Table 12. The blonde in red. Make sure she knows exactly who she's dealing with. $2,000 when it's done. Maya closed her eyes for a moment. $2,000? That was 3 months of her daughter Lily's therapy sessions. That was the difference between making rent and falling behind again. She had been working as a freelance event coordinator for the past year, ever since the divorce. The work was unpredictable, the pay inconsistent. When Victoria had called with this unusual offer, Maya had wanted to say no. Should have said no, but desperation has a way of rewriting your morals. The job was simple, Victoria had explained. Show up at the restaurant, make a scene, ruin the blind date between Victoria's ex-boyfriend James and some woman named Emma. Make Emma so uncomfortable she would never want to see James again. He thinks he can just move on. Victoria had said on the phone, her voice sharp with anger. After everything I did for him, for his company, I made him who he is. And now he's going on blind dates like I never existed. Maya had listened, her stomach twisting. She knew this was wrong, but she also knew what $2,000 meant to her and Lily. Now, standing in this beautiful restaurant, watching well-dressed people laugh and clink glasses, Maya felt the weight of what she was about to do. She spotted them immediately. Table 12, just as Victoria had said. The blonde woman in the stunning red dress sat with her back slightly to the room. Across from her sat a man in a grey-blue suit. Even from a distance, Maya could see he was handsome. Dark hair, strong profile, an ease in the way he sat. That had to be James. Maya took a breath and started walking. Her heels clicked against the floor. Around her, conversations hummed. Waiters moved gracefully between tables. The whole room felt alive with quiet luxury. As she got closer, she could hear them talking. The blonde woman, Emma, was laughing at something James had said. Her laugh was genuine, unguarded. James was smiling, really smiling, the kind of smile that reached his eyes. They looked happy. Maya's steps slowed. Something about the scene made her chest tighten. The way they leaned toward each other. The way Emma's eyes sparkled when she spoke. The way James listened, completely present. This wasn't just a date. This was two people connecting. Really connecting. Maya stopped a few feet from their table. She could turn around right now, walk away, forget the $2,000. Find another way to make rent, to pay for Lily's therapy. But then she thought of her daughter's face that morning, talking excitedly about her upcoming session with Dr. Patterson, the first therapist who had really understood Lily's anxiety, who had made real progress. Sessions they could barely afford. Maya forced herself forward. "Excuse me," she said, her voice louder than necessary. She leaned toward the table, pointing at Emma. "I think we need to talk." The effect was immediate. Conversations at nearby tables quieted. Heads turned. Emma's eyes went wide with shock. James sat up straighter, his expression confused. "I'm sorry," Emma said slowly. "Do I know you?" This was the moment. Maya was supposed to launch into a performance. Accuse Emma of something vague but damaging. Because a scene big enough to humiliate her, to make James question everything. Maya opened her mouth to speak, but then she really looked at Emma. Not just at her dress or her hair, but at her face. There was kindness there. And underneath the shock, Maya saw something else. Vulnerability. The look of someone who had been hurt before and was trying, despite everything, to be brave enough to try again. Maya knew that look. She saw it in her own mirror every morning. Maya started, then stopped. The words she had rehearsed evaporated. James stood up, his body language protective but not aggressive. "Is there a problem?" Maya looked at him. Really looked. His eyes were concerned, not angry. and the way he had automatically moved to shield Emma, not from physical danger, but from whatever awkwardness this moment might bring. This was a good man, a man who cared, and Maya was about to destroy something real for money. For someone else's revenge, she couldn't do it. Maya's voice cracked. She took a shaky breath. "I'm so sorry. I think I made a mistake. I thought you were someone else." Emma relaxed slightly, though confusion still lingered on her face. "Oh, that's okay." Maya should have walked away then. Should have left the restaurant, texted Victoria some excuse, figured out what to do about the money later, but she found herself still standing there. And before she could stop herself, words were tumbling out. "Actually, no, that's not true." Maya's hands were shaking. "I wasn't mistaken. I came here on purpose. Someone paid me to ruin your date, to cause a scene and make you," she looked at Emma, "feel so uncomfortable you'd never want to see him again." The silence that followed was deafening. Maya could feel eyes from every direction. James had gone completely still. Emma's mouth had fallen open slightly. "Who?" James asked quietly, but Maya could hear the answer already forming in his voice. "Victoria," Maya nodded miserably. "She called me yesterday. Offered me $2,000. I needed the money. My daughter, she has therapy sessions and I—" She stopped, realizing how pathetic she sounded. "There's no excuse. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have come." She turned to leave, hot shame burning through her. She had failed at being dishonest, and now she'd ruined everything anyway. "Wait," Maya stopped. It was James who had spoken. She turned back slowly. James was still standing, but his expression had shifted. He looked at Maya with something that might have been understanding. "You said you have a daughter who needs therapy," he asked. Maya nodded, unable to speak. "How old?" 7, Maya whispered. James exchanged a glance with Emma. Something passed between them, some silent communication. Then Emma did something Maya didn't expect. She smiled, not an angry smile or a mocking one. A genuine, warm smile. "I think you should sit down," Emma said, gesturing to an empty chair at their table. "What?" Maya wasn't sure she had heard correctly. "Sit down," James repeated, pulling out the chair. "Please." Maya sat, feeling like she was in a dream. The three of them formed an odd triangle around the elegant table. James folded his hands. "I'm going to tell you something about Victoria. We dated for 2 years. In that time, she convinced me to change almost everything about myself. How I dressed, how I talked, who I spent time with. She said it was to help my business, to help me succeed." He paused, his jaw tight. "It took me a long time to realize she didn't love me. She loved the idea of me, the project of me. When I finally ended things, she told everyone I had used her, betrayed her, tried to turn my business partners against me." Emma reached across the table, touching James's hand gently. He gave her a small, grateful smile. "I have a daughter too," James continued. "Sophie, she's 9. Her mother passed away 3 years ago, cancer. Sophie started having panic attacks last year. We found a good therapist, but insurance only covered part of it. I know what it's like to watch your child suffer and feel helpless." Maya felt tears building behind her eyes. "I'm not excusing what you almost did," James said, his voice firm but not unkind. "But I understand desperation. I understand what you do for your child. I don't deserve your understanding," Maya said, her voice breaking. "I came here to hurt you, both of you." "But you didn't," Emma said softly. "You chose honesty instead. That took courage." Maya shook her head. I looked at you both and I couldn't do it. You looked so happy, so real." James pulled out his phone. "What's your daughter's therapist's name?" "What?" "No, I couldn't." "Maya." James's voice was gentle but insistent. "What's the name?" "Dr. Patterson," Maya whispered. At the Riverside Center, James typed something into his phone. "I'm going to call them Monday. Set up a fund to cover your daughter's sessions. For the next year at least." Maya's tears spilled over. "Why would you do that?" "Because Victoria wanted to use you to hurt us," James said simply. "But maybe something good can come from this instead. Maybe you get to help your daughter. Maybe we get to know that choosing kindness matters, even in small ways." He smiled, and Maya saw in that smile the kind of man he was. Someone who had been hurt but chose not to hurt back. Someone who saw people not for their worst moments, but for their potential. Besides, Emma added, her own eyes bright with tears, if tonight has taught me anything, it's that people deserve second chances, all of us. Even on blind dates that almost get sabotaged. She squeezed James's hand, and they both laughed, the tension breaking like dawn after a long night. Maya wiped her eyes, overwhelmed. Thank you, both of you. I don't know what to say. Say you'll let your daughter know that sometimes strangers can surprise you, James said. That sometimes the world is kinder than it seems. Maya nodded, unable to trust her voice.